Welcome back to the Sophomore team. We are so happy to be back. It's been getting really chilly. I hope you guys are staying warm. But I'm so excited to be back here today with my lovely guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Gracie. I'm a psychology major, senior here at Central Connecticut State University.
Okay.
And I'm so excited to be here with you.
All right, so senior. Wow. Are you ready to graduate?
No.
Oh. So let's see. You're in psychology. What made you want to choose that?
Kind of a difficult path, actually, because I really wanted to go into speech language pathology originally, or law school, but I was like, I don't know, they didn't have speech language pathology here, and law school's a really big commitment, so I'm like, let me settle for something in the middle, psychology.
Oh.
So, and it's a super broad field that I can kind of do anything with, so yeah, I was like, this is a good thing that I can kind of figure out in the 4 years that I'll be here, kind of.
So you ended up switching?
Nope, just went in with it. But before I even came into Central, I had like 5 majors. I remember emailing admissions like 5 different times, from like business to communications to psychology.
Because a lot of people will like come in with something and then they'll just be like, oh, I'm done. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this. Because that's how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel. But all right, so let's see. What are some of the involvements? I know you're really involved. I know you guys see her face everywhere on campus. I do. So what are some of your involvements that you're in?
I'm currently in, I work for the rec, go rec. I was an orientation leader for 2 years. I was a student orientation coordinator last summer. I'm in psychology club. I'm a student.
I'm a
That's
student.
one of my involvements. I go to class. So, yeah, that's just a couple of things I'm in right now. And they're all great. Love them all.
Fun.
Yep.
So the rec, how is that?
It's great. I've only been there for like 2 weeks now.
That is so popular. Like, I think that is the most wanted job on campus.
Yeah, I think so. I work front desk and equipment checkout. So even at front desk, I've had a couple girls come up to me and be like, how did you get this job? Like, I want this job so bad. I'm like, y'all gotta fight for it. Like, it was a war.
It's so popular.
It was a war to get here.
Hey.
Seriously.
So, like, how did you do it?
I remember I talked to Scott Kazar, the director of Rec Central, over the summer at Toro's lunch. And I was like, I'm super interested in working at the rec. Like, my position with NSP is almost done. How can I get there? And he was like, send me an email. And I sent him an email. We chit-chatted back and forth. And then over winter break, I got an interview. And then here we are. I got the job.
See, I want to talk about that because just that, like, reach out or just being present at Toro's lunch, and then you were able to email him and get an interview.
Yeah.
I think, like, the connection with faculty and kind of just, like, networking gets you really far.
Yeah, I agree.
And, like, I know you've got from one place to this place to this place. So how do you feel about just making connections with faculty?
I always would I really remember telling like students I had for orientation leading, like the first thing you should do is like introduce yourself to your professor. After the first day of class, going up to your professor, being like, hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm in this class, I just want you to have a face to the name so that I'm not just like a name on your roster.
Right.
You know how many students that your professor will meet throughout a semester and they're just gonna completely forget who you are, and then in a few years you might need that professor for a letter of rec or anything. So making sure that a professor or faculty knows your face is so important because there's so many of you and me all over this campus.
Yeah.
So just really like sticking out is super important if you want to do anything ever.
Yeah. Look at her go. She's on a roll.
What can I say?
So I love that. That's truly inspiring.
Thank you.
I'm taking that in my head. Stand out. Cool. So we got orientation, we got rec, we got psychology. I think we're missing something here, something really, really motivating
Am I missing
that we don't really touch upon a lot.
What could that be?
What could it be? Being a first gen.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Can we get a round of applause?
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thanks,
that is
guys.
actually
Thank you.
really motivating. Like,
Thank you.
when we go through like orientation and they'll ask the question like any first gens here, I'm just like, why is that like go you? Like, So let's talk about your process as a first gen. How did it feel coming into college? What were some struggles, things that you maybe overcome?
Sorry. So my parents and my brother came here in like 2001, and I was born 2003. So that's quite literally like a 2-year gap.
Right.
Fresh off the boat. So I'm the first in my family to go to college in America. Like my parents have degrees, but it's from another country, so they don't equal the same, essentially. Process was kind of difficult, you know, not having someone to talk to, being like, how did you apply for college? How did you go to these interviews for college? Like, because it's so different over there.
Right.
So they were obviously always like my biggest supporters, my biggest cheerleaders. They were always like there whenever I needed them, but not in the way that maybe someone who's had 500 years of American lineage might have, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a big struggle, I would say, but it also gave me a kind of sense of like, I did that, like I could do it. And if literally I could do it, anybody could do it, like seriously. Cause it's hard at first, but like it's so worth it at the end. So like that and financial aid and yada yada, like having to figure that all out by yourself essentially is it was stressful, but again, worth it in the end because I'm almost done. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I'm just thinking like, oh, that's heavy. Like that is really motivating. Why are you my role model? So that's really cool. What's something that you wish you knew? Like if you were to talk to a first gen student watching this, what is something that you would maybe want to tell them so that they don't fall into like maybe the same struggles or things that you went through?
Yeah. For me, what I struggled with the most actually was like reaching out for help when I needed it. So I would always wait until like I was behind on payments or I was almost failing classes to reach out for help because I was telling myself, oh, I've been doing this all alone up until this point. I can finish doing it all alone.
Right.
But if you're already almost failing classes, you're not paying your payments for financial aid, and you're not doing anything you need to be doing without any help, like how are you going to succeed at the end? So reaching out when you even feel like that little bit of struggle, and this isn't even for first gen students, for any student, like reaching out when you feel like that first crumble of like, it'll like, you'll have a smoother pavement.
That is so true, because like I struggle to do that.
Yeah.
Like it's just a procrastination
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
Like, and then it screws you over in the end. It really does.
It becomes a bigger snowball that's unnecessary.
Snowball, I like that analogy. Like, because it gets more and more snow. Wow, that was smart.
Happy snow day.
Oh, okay. So, cool. Okay, I love that. Let's see. You're just so interesting. I want to pick so many things at you. I really loved. Let's talk about, because you're a commuter, right? Let's dive into some fun commuting stories.
Okay.
Commuting stories, fun college involvement stories.
My favorite commuting story, I have to tell you, okay? This happened on my second day of college, like freshman year. I'm a freshman, okay? I'm 17 years old. I had a gap in between, like my first and second class was like 3 hours long. And I was like, let me go home, let me take my dog out, and then I'll drive right back. My drive is 15 minutes, okay? That's it. I'm driving home. I'm listening to, I'm pretty sure it was like Bottles Up by Trey Songz. I swear, I can vividly remember it. I'm driving. All of a sudden, I'm trying to pick up my smoothie in my cup holder. I'm going down a hill, by the way. Trying to pick up my smoothie. It's stuck. My NutriBullet is stuck in my cup holder. I look up. The car in front of me is at a dead stop. I'm going 40 down a hill. One thing led to another. I crashed. Totaled my car. Second day of college.
Oh my gosh.
FaceTime my dad, screaming, crying. And he was like, I knew one of these FaceTime calls was going to be you crashing your car. I was like, oh?
Well, there you have it. A NutriBullet led to a crash.
Yep, I had my friends bringing me to school for like the next 3 months. Shout out Liz for bringing me to school.
Dang.
Yep.
You know that happened to me in high school? That's a good off fact.
Really?
That literally happened to me in high school. Second day of class 2.
Hot
Same
girls
exact
can't
thing.
drive. Hot
but
girls
it was
can't
only
drive.
because I was racing. I shouldn't have done that.
Alexis.
I know, I'm sorry.
911. Hello.
Stop. All right, so let's see. Do you want to also get into, because our episode is first gen and thriving, what we wish we knew. How do you think your family is during this time, being in college and just being a first gen student? Like, How do they support you?
Yeah.
And things like that.
My parents are very like keeping me on top of my things, you know? So like if I know something is, if I know I have to be here at 12 o'clock today or whatever, my mom will be already calling me at 11 o'clock being like, have you left yet? Do you mind 15-minute commute? You know, like my parents are very much my biggest supporters when it comes to any and everything. Like I have put them through a lot being in this college like journey of mine, and they've always still like held my hand, held like my back, walked me through everything I've needed, and I don't think I could have done this without them. So shout out moms, pops, and brother.
Aww.
Love you guys. So
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked for a better support system throughout like my last 4 years here. So yeah, they're great. Love them.
And so, like, for those who may not have a support system or just as strong, like, what would you say, you know, as a psychologist?
Yeah. Like again, I owe a lot of my success and my passion to my parents. So again, I'm very grateful and I lucked out a lot. So I would say to them, to those who might not be as lucky as me, is find that for yourself in someone else. Like if you have such a good friend that you consider a sister or you're a blood related relative, like kind of, I wouldn't say leech onto them, but like talk to them, talk to counselors on campus that we have, reach out to your faculty, let them know what you're going through, let them know that you're struggling. I'm pretty sure we actually even have a first generation connection on campus that will pair you with a mentor and will actually help you throughout your whole process in college for someone who might not have a support system of their own, you know? So reach out to those resources, first gen connection.
I love it. Yes, that word.
Shout out first gen connection.
Cool. So speaking of like reaching out and just going through struggles and finding a support system, I think that people don't talk a lot about like academic probation and going through that. And has that ever been something you've went through?
Been there, done that, babe.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Oh yeah, so like freshman year of college, like crashed my car, right? Okay, that same girl.
Was going through it.
I was going through it,
Right.
as one would say.
Valid.
Like you crashed your car, you got no money.
Oh,
You're sad.
brokey.
I fear I was brokey. So not only being a brokey, but being a lazy
Oh
brokey. My friends would drive me to class, I wouldn't even go. Wouldn't even go to class.
no. So they drove you and you wasted their
I
gas.
sat in the campus and did nothing. Shout out Liz. Sorry, Liz. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, wouldn't go to class. You don't go to class, what do you miss out on? Lectures, homework, quizzes. You fail. So that was me my first semester of college. And then I got a letter in the mail. You're on academic probation. And guess who found that letter? Guess. Mommy.
What did mommy say?
Oh, say. What did mommy do?
Oh no.
Yeah. But hey, I needed that to get reality check. Like, hello.
That's like actually a really interesting point because I feel like when people realize they're in the middle of their struggle, they're like, okay, I'm gonna get it up. But it's something about being humbled.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to be humbled.
Oh yeah, it's necessary.
Wait, let me not say that on here before like everybody starts humbling. But I
worry,
feel
don't
like it's
worry.
really important because you yourself are obviously your biggest critic, but
Oh, yeah.
knowing how I am, like I can be a critic and I can get over it. I
Oh,
can be
yeah.
like, oh well, you just did not eat anything today. Not like physically eat, but like
You just didn't eat.
eat.
You're
Like,
starving.
I'm starving. So I think to be like humbled is very important. So you saw the letter and did it switch things in your head?
Oh my God, the gears started shifting. I felt like my reality flipped. I was like, Gracie, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're paying so much money for this institution.
Right.
You're working your weekend jobs trying to pay for this school and you're failing. Like, what are you
Right.
doing? My parents came here, left their country and everyone they know and their family behind for you to succeed and you're failing college? What are you doing? You know, like, what are you
Ooh.
doing? Like, they could have been in our beautiful country by the beach with their family, but no, you want to sit on your butt at school, do nothing, not go to class. That's so embarrassing. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's what I had to tell myself, like, you're so embarrassing.
The guilt trip helps.
Get it together.
It helps.
Get
That's
it together.
exactly what I do.
Hot girls don't fail.
That's the title right there. Hot girls don't fail. Well, hot girls fail and they get back up. Hence why you're here right now.
Yes.
HOTT, whatever she said.
Okay.
So I love that.
Sorry, Chapel.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. She ate at the Grammys.
She did
though.
eat with
She really did.
that Pink Pony Club.
She's an amazing.
Seriously.
Okay.
Love her.
Cool.
Yes.
So you feel like you would never get back in that situation again?
I better not. After everything I did to get myself out of that hole, I better not.
Right.
With my 1 or 2 semesters left.
That's so real. Because I honestly, if I'm being so honest, I thought that was gonna be me last semester.
And that's so normal.
You know,
It happens.
Thank you. It's normal.
It happens.
As long as if you need to humble yourself, if you need to guilt trip yourself, whatever you need to do to get back on just your feet. Because I don't know, I feel like it's so easy for people to be like, oh, I'm failing, I'm a failure.
Yeah.
But I say this all the time. I don't know if I said this in a previous episode. My coach once told me from high school, he said, you have 5 minutes to cry about it, and then you got to do something about it.
Yeah.
Because, like in track, everything's based on time or whatever. So you can be dead first, and then look at the time and, oh, you didn't make it. So I always quote that. You have 5 minutes to cry about it. So, oh, I'm a failure, I'm not doing anything right. But it's like, why wallow in that?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. The only person that's gonna feel bad for you is you. Like seriously.
Because it's
Stand
you
up.
against you.
Seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
Love that. So anyways, I know Gracie a lot from orientation. How many years did you spend in orientation?
I was in the program for 3, but I was an orientation leader for 2, and then I was a student orientation coordinator for my last summer, which was last summer.
Then how was going from an OL? Because as you guys know, OL here.
Yes, we love
how
her.
How was going from being an OL to a student coordinator? Like, how was the switch?
At first, it was kind of rough. I had really bad imposter syndrome where I was like, I don't deserve this title. What am I doing here? What did I do to get this title?
Yeah.
And then after talking to my supervisors and having the best person to look up to, I realized I did deserve this. I worked hard to be here, but it was so weird telling people my age or people older than me what to do, because who am I to do that? You
Yeah.
know? It was so, even telling you Alexis, what are you doing?
Right.
I was like, girl, you're my friend. That's so weird.
I know.
Alexis would walk in late and I'm like, Alexis.
You guys know I'm tourist for me. Let me not say that.
And then I have to send her a text, be like, where are you?
Right.
But I'm late myself too. I'm 21 years old. I was 20 years old the past summer. Who am I to tell you what to do?
A leader.
It was so weird though.
But see, you gotta own that.
I know.
You gotta own that. I think when you get these jobs on campus, it might just feel weird, especially, I think it's really well known to get a manager position on campus.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just don't feel comfortable in the role. But it's like, you are a leader. You own that role. I just love hearing people just elevate and elevate. It just makes me so happy.
Yeah, well, you did that too, so.
Oh, wait, stop. Why I blush. So what made you want to be in student leadership jobs? Because you could have chose this is not shade, but
No
you could have
shade.
chose Sodexo
Love Sodexo.
or working at Devils. Not that it's bad.
Love Devils.
Not that it's bad.
They're great.
Thank you to the workers.
We love
you guys
you.
do great. You always make my sandwiches so good.
So good.
But what made you want to be a student leader?
Honestly, if I'm being so real, I joined orientation because I thought it was fun. I remember, Bria, she was like, you'd be so good for this role, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, oh my God, amazing. I'm just gonna be the loud, I was the personality hire, I would say, my first year of orientation. I was loud, I was rowdy, I was that energetic OL that at 7 in the morning, you're like, please stop, please.
Right.
So at first I was like, this is so fun, I'm having a blast. And then I was like, wait, I feel like I'm making an impact on students.
Oh.
The big word, impact.
Stop. So why did you feel like that?
It hits because I remember I had a student, I love you, and they, do you remember how in the summer they would leave notes for you? I had one note left at the end of the session. It was to OL Gracie, you changed how I view like going into college. Like you made me feel ready. Like the nicest message I could have ever needed and wanted to hear, I received it. And I remember feeling that way about like other people. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm continuing that snowball, but like in a positive way. And I was like, wow, like I am so excited to do this. So rather than taking like that impact and continuing it on first year students, I want to do that with the OL. So that's why I went to the SOC role to like for me, it's like seeing people get into their like leadership roles was so fun because I remember being that person, like getting there. I was like, I just want to help you and I want you to like be you.
That is
in a blue polo.
Cute. I love that for you.
We love our blue polos.
Facts, love it all. So, you know, being a first gen student and just a student leader in general, do you feel like all of your involvements in your leadership has changed your college experience?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And how?
Yeah, so I was like that girl, and well, my first year was I was working 2 jobs. I was a server, bartender, that whole spiel, okay? So I would go to school throughout the week, weekends go to work, and then go home. Like I wasn't doing anything, and that's when I found myself starting to fail because like what was I doing for fun? I was sitting in Devil's Den, shout out Devil's Den. I was sitting there watching TV, like, because that's the only time I would be able to find myself having fun.
Yeah.
So I would rather skip class, watch Netflix, than go to class, but then find another gap of time to get involved. So like making an hour or 2 of my day by going to a psych club meeting or like going to stop by the NSP office saying what's up. Like getting into those involvements made me like helped me figure out my time management skills. It helped me figure out my personality skills, like how to talk to people, because I had no idea how to talk to people before. So like it really did change everything for me, and I don't think I would be where I am and who I am like without that first involvement, which was orientation. Oh. We love you, orientation.
We like are ambassadors for orientation.
Seriously.
Like, I know they're all like, it gets to a point.
It gets
like,
to a point.
You're dragging it, let it go.
I know, I feel like I should, but I can't.
But I just can't.
I can't. For everything they've done for me, I literally can't.
Yeah. I was just thinking as you were talking, like, you just took those steps, and I'm thinking as the first gens watching this, I'm wondering if they feel so obligated to just strictly work mode. Like, I'm fortunate enough to be here. I don't want to get distracted. I don't want to do this. Like, I need to pass. I need to make my family proud. I need to make everybody proud. Like, are those thoughts you had?
Oh, yeah.
And if, like, there are people watching this thinking that, what would be your advice to them?
My advice would be, like, you can't succeed if you don't put yourself first. So, like, I know that you want to succeed for your family or you want to make your family proud and rep your family name. I'm the same way. But like if you're burning yourself out by going to school, going to work, going to study, and you're not giving yourself that time to like have fun, you're not going to succeed because you're going to end up stressing yourself out, freaking out, putting all your work aside, not going to class, and then you're going to end up failing in the first place. So like I was there. I remember being like, I can't do anything fun. But then I would skip class and try and find time to have fun. So like, it's all about balance. And again, this goes for all students, but for my first gens out there, I know how hard it is to like want to succeed in a good way when you're not like stressing about money or stressing about this. Like, I understand that. So like valuing a little bit of me time before like it all burns down and goes to that negative snowball.
Yeah,
you know?
having self-care.
Yeah.
We talked about that in another episode.
The last episode.
Was the last episode.
Oh.
One before that.
Fake fan.
Fake fan. I love that. Truly on a roll. Yeah. And then lastly, I just want to talk about, because you were involved in a lot. So for the people who want to get involved and just feel like maybe they're not qualified enough or just haven't had enough practice, like what are some of the skills you think are very important for being in a student leadership job? I know you learn these skills in maybe training, but just mentally prepare yourself for those jobs. What would you say?
Yeah, just having confidence in who you are as a person is so important. Like, you can't I always say, like, you can't succeed if you don't know who you are. So, like, knowing how you are in stressful situations, knowing what you need to learn to grow. Like, if you don't know what you need to work on, you're not going to succeed because you're going to be stuck in the same spot. Knowing how to reach out to people for help. Just, like, stuff that you need to know about yourself to push yourself forward, because you won't be able to start leading if you're just in the same spot that you are originally, you know?
Ooh. Same spot that you are.
Stagnation.
Is that a quote? Write that down.
Write that down.
Elaborate.
You know, like, if I didn't fail my first semester, I would still be that same girl that's going to school, class, work, home. But I failed, and I reached out to help saying, how do I stop failing? This is so embarrassing. How do I stop failing? They said, add involvements, because your grades might be low, but if a job is seeing that you're involved in XYZ, they're going to be interested in you, you know?
Ooh.
It's all about resume.
Yeah.
So getting involved, that adds to your resume. You're becoming a different person. After failing and after being at my lowest point, I learned what I needed to learn to start succeeding. So, like, staying at the bottom, without change, like, you're gonna stay down there.
Because it's like, wow, now that you're thinking about it, some of the things I've learned in my job is like being an RA or an OL, camp counselor, things like that. Some of the skills I've learned have actually like just transferred over into my academics.
Seriously.
And I think that's really important that you say that, like, these employers will see, well, you're involved in this, or like professors, so they can see that you are capable of doing really big things. And this is just something that maybe you're not understanding or comprehending or having difficulty with. So I like that. Like, I myself think I'm gonna remember that. Like, when I am struggling in a class, I'm just gonna be like, Gracie told me that I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So, boom, I love that.
Thanks.
You were just a smart little dingo.
Oh, thank you. It took a lot for me to get here.
Stop. A lot. She was like, when am I going on the show? When?
It's a battle with her. That's why.
Dragging it.
All right.
So, what's any last minute advice to not only our sophomores, anybody, you know, you're seniors, so our seniors who are graduating.
Love you guys.
Are you looking into graduate school?
I am.
Ooh, how's that?
Sigh.
Is it hard?
It's hard. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to go. And time's a ticking.
Huh. Maybe we might have to have her back on the show to talk about a little graduate school. I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in that. Me, myself, I'm interested.
Are you?
Now that I'm, you know, time is ticking.
Time is ticking.
Time is ticking. That's the way with college. Just. So yeah, last minute advice to our sophomores, seniors, juniors, freshmen, anybody, professors.
Yeah, you hear it everywhere, but like, just put yourself out there, know what you want, how to do it, reach out to people for help when you feel that first crumble. Don't let yourself snowball. Use your strengths, work on your weaknesses, but there's also no weaknesses. Work on what you gotta work on to be the best you can be, and get involved on campus.
Wow, there you have it. Thank you so much, Gracie. Such a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
I learned a lot from her.
Oh.
So thank you for watching. We hope you guys tune in next episode. Stay motivated. You guys are doing great. What are we in, like the 4th week of school?
Yeah.
If you missed a couple classes, we're in the beginning. Keep going.
Go to class.
Don't skip class. Keep going to class. We hope you guys are doing great. Check out our TikTok, our Instagram, and all of our socials. And we'll see you next week. Peace.